but I'm also a senior lecturer in business, and I teach across a broad range of undergraduate and postgraduate problems. The plan of action, we haven't got a huge amount of time, so the plan of action for the next 35, 40 minutes is me to give you a taster, a flavour of a little bit about the University of Kent, a little bit about Kent Business School, and a little bit about our degrees and what you might expect to find if you come here. I know it won't be a huge amount of detail because time is against us. For all of our programs, you can go to our website. Clearly, you can look up the course structure, you can look up the details of fees and other elements by looking at the different tabs. But today, the idea is to give you a quick overview, a flavour, and we'll have 10 minutes at the end, 10 or 15 minutes, where we've got Sarush and Ella joining us, real live students joining us that can answer your questions. The first thing I want to say is that it's a shame you cannot join us in person. We have a beautiful campus here at Kent. There's our campus there, top right. It's on the hill just outside Canterbury. It's one of the best campuses in the UK, according to which league table? Steve's league table. I have visited most UK campuses, and this is definitely a top 10. Most of our postgraduate programs, virtually all of our postgraduate programs are based on our Canterbury campus. One or two are up at Medway, which is our historic dockyard campus, but most are here at Canterbury. So if you get a chance, either you, family or friends, come along and visit us. We're always happy to meet you. You can take a little tour if you're thinking about coming to Kent. That would be fantastic. If you don't know anything about the University of Kent, it's based mainly in Canterbury, which is under an hour from London, southeast of London. In terms of British universities, we are 20,000 students, roughly 20,000 students, which is about slightly bigger than average. Not too big, equally not too small. We have that sort of Goldilocks size, just about right, 20,000 students. The business school is the largest school in the university. There are 10 schools in the university, and the business school is about the largest. We have around 2,000 students in the business school, and we're based in the Simpson building, which you can find online. That's where I'm currently sitting. It's a dedicated building on the campus. So we have around 2,000 students, roughly about 2/3 of those, well, maybe 1,600 students are undergraduates, and the rest, like possibly yourself, 300 to 400 postgraduate, either doing postgraduate courses, masters, degrees, if you like, or perhaps doing some PhD research or postdoc research. Kent Business School is very proud that it is a triple accredited business school. Look, you can see my little red pointer there. Sorry about that. There you go. Our triple accredited business school. If you don't know what that means, it means we have this external guarantee of quality, this external validation. Triple accreditation is from AMBER, AACSB and Equus at the bottom there, and only 1% of business schools globally have this triple accreditation. So it gives you, if you like, greater assurance of the quality of the content of your programs, the quality of the teaching, the quality of the resource and support. We are a top 20 school in the UK for business and management. We have a great focus, as you'll see in a moment, on graduate employability. There's all sorts of workshops, guest speakers, different events and activities you can join. We have an Aspire Centre. The Aspire Centre is our entrepreneurial hub, where you can go along if you're thinking of starting your own business. You can join our business startup program. More about that in a minute. Our research in the REF, if you're not sure what REF is this assessment of research that takes place every 6 to 7 years. So when it says REF 2021, that's the last time it occurred. And 80% of Kent Business School's research was seen as world-leading research. But our main mission at the bottom there is to develop possibly you, hopefully you, as the next generation of responsible leaders and entrepreneurs to make a difference in the world. That is our main aim. To achieve that aim, we put a lot of emphasis on sustainable development. If you come and join us at Kent, whether you're studying an accounting program or business analytics or maybe marketing, then what we have throughout your different courses is we have links to the UN Sustainable Development Goals there at the bottom. I'm not going to read all 17 out, but these are part of the bigger global picture of sustainable development. So what we do is we sprinkle different elements of this on different programs. So not only will you be learning your subjects while you're here, but you also get a bigger flavor of what's going on in the world in terms of things like climate action, action on poverty, etc. So that's why we see it's very important. Also, you can do research topics in these areas. You can get involved in different campus events as well. And also there's different research themes that you can be involved in your final term. If you are looking to join us in this coming September, and I thoroughly recommend you do, so if you're looking at a September 2025 entry, you'll be joining the university at a very, very exciting time. It's always exciting, but it's particularly exciting in 2025 because the university is going through a big modernization process of its educational framework. What does that mean? If I'm a student, it basically means that your timetable, your assessments, the shape of your degree will become more user-friendly. We are looking at narrowing the gaps between lessons, having a block timetable to make it more easy for you to fit in private study, maybe part-time jobs, whatever you may be doing. The shape of the academic year for a postgraduate will be 4 terms: first term, second term, third term, fourth term. The fourth term will be focused on project work or dissertation work. So 3 main teaching terms, and then the final term will tend to be when you work on your particular project, a business project, or maybe a dissertation. Also, assessment and feedback is becoming more what they call in the UK now authentic. What does that mean, Steve? We are going to have assessments and feedback that is more work related. So yes, there'll still be some tests. Yes, there will be some exams, but not as quite as many as the past. There'll be more coursework, and that coursework will be more authentic based upon real life case scenarios, real life projects, the sort of thing that when you start a job, you'll get an idea of how those particular types of assessment are very much related to the workplace. We have a number of postgraduate courses here at Kent. I can't go into all of these in huge depth because I'll be here till summer next year. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a flavour. My strong advice for any student, if you're an undergraduate now, doing your first degree, or maybe you've recently finished your first degree, the big question is, do you want to drill down and study the same sort of subject area in more depth, maybe a more specialized area? So maybe before you did business, and now you may want to do marketing or digital marketing as a particular type of business. That is very popular, and I'll show you some more in a second. So do you want to do a more specialized postgraduate degree? These are very popular in things like logistics, supply chain, global healthcare, or would you like a broader degree because perhaps you like the idea of touching upon different areas? The classic example of that would be international business and management. So we have a whole suite of different degrees. I'll show you in a second. They're all available. They're all available with what we used to call a pre-master's course. So if you feel that your grades are not high enough or you need to learn more English, you can do a 1-term or 2-term pre-masters. These are now called International Incorporated Master's Degree at the top there, IIM. All our degrees finish in 12 months. I mentioned authentic assessments. There's an option in the late summer for you to take part in a consultancy project or a placement. There's also the option to do a 12-month placement after your degree. So you do your degree and then you go to work. The course also offers, if you do international business and management there, the opportunity to do a 2 to 4 week study trip to one of our partner universities or an NGO. We have very strong English language support. If English is your second language, we require at least 6 IELTS 6 overall. If you're doing an MBA, we require 6.5. But if you've got 6 on your IELTS, that's good. But it's important to develop your English while you're here. So there are courses that you can go on, as well as particular support. There's a graduate researcher college you can join while you're here, and there's a dedicated accommodation if you want to have just graduate accommodation. And when you do graduate, this is the fantastic thing, touch wood, when you do graduate, it's from, if you're based in Canterbury, it's from Canterbury Cathedral, which is one of the best places in the UK to graduate from. We have a huge choice of different degrees, as I said, at the master's level. Apologies, but I cannot go into all of these straight away in depth because it would take too long. But you'll see there's a mixture of different degrees there, whether you want to do general business, whether you want to do a focus in finance and in accounting, whether you want to do a focus in operations and strategy, etc. So what I have done in the next few slides, is group them together so you can see a pattern of the sort of different degrees you can do. If you wish to do analytics, operations, or maybe systems work, then these 3 degrees may well be the ones of interest to you. We've got Suresh, who was with us today, that's doing business analytics. So that's obviously a degree whereby, yes, it's business, but you're applying analytical, quantitative coding techniques to business problems. You can do global logistics, supply chain, that's very much in demand at the moment, as well as business analytics, or maybe project management, strategic project management. When you look at adverts for postgraduate jobs, there tends to be a real focus in these areas of logistics, analytics, project management. These are all areas whereby UK and global employers are looking for talented graduates. So if you have an interest in quantitative techniques, you have an interest in management, particularly project management and analytics, one of these 3 degrees could be the one for you, particularly if you like working with case studies, real life consultancy projects, etc. If your interest is more in financial services, finance, accounting, then you could do one of these financial masters, financial management, finance, investment and risk, sustainable finance and investment, or finance and economics. These are all similar but different. You need to look at the actual content on the actual web page to get a flavour of the key differences. My advice is these can be quite mathematical. Make sure your quantitative techniques skills are strong. But if you want to look at different ways of managing finance, looking at risk, investment, sustainable finance, maybe mixing it with economics, if you see your future perhaps working in financial services, maybe as an accountant, maybe in things like wealth management, maybe you've got an interest to work in investment banking, merchant banking, insurance, these sort of things. If that's where your interest lies, if you follow the stock market, you'll know it was very bullish this year. It's gone bearish. It's gone bullish again. There's big Trump tariff effects. If that's the sort of thing you're interested in, then one of these degrees could be the one for you. Employers are always crying out for good quality finance related master's students, but they're all slightly different. Not, there's some overlap, but they're all slightly different in content. So check those out. If your interest is more in the side of marketing and in particular international business, then you've got a degree here, our master's degree in marketing. We've got Ella with us shortly, who's doing the marketing degree. The digital marketing is a mixture and a more focused degree in digital elements and looks at analytics. But if you like a broader degree that's very popular, then international business and management is very popular. I teach on this program In the past, I've taught cross-cultural management, how managing in different countries like Spain, France, the UK. I lived for a number of years in the UAE. I've lived in Hong Kong. So it's all about looking at management in different cultures. So again, if you're interested in marketing, maybe you've done a business degree in the past or an economics degree, or maybe you've done a degree in French or German. It's possible you could come in and join these sort of degrees to give you a broader scope in international business and management, or slightly more specialized in marketing and digital marketing. In terms of leadership and management, we have some very specialized degrees here in global healthcare management. If you're working in private or public sector healthcare, then global healthcare management is all about managing those sort of practices, those sort of organizations. But more broadly, if you're interested in HRM, we have a part-time degree in human resource management. If you see your career going forward, perhaps doing CIPD qualifications. So forgive me, a huge choice of different types of degree. It does depend on what you are looking for, which is best. It's not a case of best. It's like apples and bananas. It depends what suits you. My strong advice, having done a master's myself in the past, my daughter's done a master's, do something you think you're going to enjoy. You're going to enjoy the modules. You're going to enjoy studying the particular degree. If you've got longer experience, at least 3 years, because we have an AMBER accredited MBA, you could possibly think of doing a master's in business administration. These are very popular. They're particularly aimed at students who are taking a career break. Maybe they've graduated, they've been working for 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Maybe they're in their late 20s, whatever. They've become a supervisor or a manager and they want to take their career to a higher level. You could consider doing an MBA. Again, something that is worthwhile, something that opens lots of doors for you, but you have to have those 3 years. For most of our degrees, we expect you to have an undergraduate degree, usually at least a 2-2, what we call in the UK a second-class degree, grade 2, or an equivalent international qualification. We expect, as I said before, at least IELTS 6. You'll need to have some references from your recent academic institution, somebody there, a previous lecturer, a previous professor that can do that. If you're looking for an MBA, we also look for an employer's reference. You have to write a short personal statement, and there's all guides to this online that you can see. But in essence, if you've got a reasonable or good undergraduate degree, at least a 2-2, then we would expect an application for you that would be considered very positively. We usually like students also to craft a CV as well, if you've got one. That's not a requirement for a master's application, although it would be helpful for an MSc. But if you're doing an MBA, we would expect you to have a CV as well. All this detail is on our webpage. It's all there. You can reread it. It's not a problem. When you come to Kent Business School, we have a big focus on employability. You have pre-arrival guidance. There's all sorts of workshops and events to support you. The career service provides one-to-one support. You've got a postgraduate employability edge program, and there's post-graduation career support as well. Our careers team have one-to-one appointments, workshops, guest speakers. All of our programs are constantly updated on a cycle of every 1 to 2 years. They have professional recognition. So depending which program you are on, if it's marketing, we typically have CIM accreditation. If it's finance or if it's accounting, then we have CIMA, ICAEW, we have ACCA. I've already talked to you before about our triple accreditation of AMBER, AACB, and CSB, and EQUIS. If you're looking at logistics, supply chain management, then it's SIPS. So all sorts of accreditations. These do not cost any more money. They do not require any work. They are just part of the degree and the institution that you're getting when you come here to Kent. It's not just about studying. It's also about your experience. Don't worry, I'm nearly finished. I'm getting on to the end. So when you come here, we can support your time here. We champion EDI. We have a whole team of support officers, engagement support, student experience team based in our lovely Simpson building. They can help you with any problems that you've got. Real life people. You haven't got to go online. You can come to the reception, ask to see somebody. They can help you with your queries, whether that's about assignments, timetable, trying to find a room, etc. While you're here, we have something called Kent Union. There's the guy with his Kent Union t-shirt on. Wow, look at that. And there's all sorts of things you can get involved in. We have a fantastic campus and so many clubs and societies. Oh my God, so much, whether you like sport, whether you like drama, whether you like cultural activities. You can join football, cricket, rugby, tennis, pickleball. You can do dancing. You can join the Afro-Caribbean Society, the Greek Society. There are so many. I would thoroughly recommend all of these, particularly when you join a new university. It's a great way to find lots of friends. We are very lucky with this beautiful campus here. Whilst you're here, you'd only be here for a year as a postgraduate, but there's all sorts of things you can join in with in your journey for that 1 year, 12 months. Guest speakers, CV crafting, covering letter crafting. We can do different sessions on interview techniques, face-to-face interviews, online interviews. We're reasonably good at this. In fact, there you go, look at that. We were actually shortlisted as University of the Year this year, so we might get a prize. We think we're quite good every year, but this year we've been shortlisted for the prize of academic employability. Another thing you can do, nearly finished, another thing you can do is something called the business startup journey. You're only here for a year, but whilst you're here, if you wish, this is free and co-curricular. It's up to you. You can do a session of workshops all about starting up your own business with a view of looking at business ideas, seed finance, business plans, marketing plans, etc., etc. And it ends with the possibility of you doing a Dragon's Den style pitch for finance, and the winners get £1,000. And we have a real life Dragon's Den there from the UK. If people have watched that program, you'll know what I mean. Students always want to know about scholarships. Fair enough. We have a web page dedicated to scholarships. I think Rebecca's going to put it in the chat for us. There's all sorts of scholarships available depending where you come from. Some you have to apply for, such as the Dean's Excellent Scholarship Award here at the top. This is something you can apply for. It's a £3,000 scholarship, but other scholarships, depending where you come from, whether you come from India or other countries, are automatic consideration. What that means is you don't have to apply. So these links will be put into the chat. There's a whole scholarship page of different types of scholarships. Again, I'd be here a long time talking about them, but there are many international scholarships ranging from 1, 2, 3, up to £5,000 that you can apply for. We'd like you to keep in touch. If you've got any questions going forward after today, it's really easy to remember the email kbsadmissions@kent.ac.uk. There's a little set of photographs there. That's not Interpol Most Wanted. That's actually our course leaders there of the different people on different programs, our different professors that are directors of the different programs. Look how friendly they look. Absolutely. But if you want to book a session, seriously, I joke, but if you want to book a session to talk to one of the directors of study, send an email to this particular email. We can set you up for a one-to-one session, have a chat about a potential program. So thank you. That's pretty much me. As usual, I'm really running out of time, so I've got to stop my share.
Amazing. Thank you, Steve.
Okay, guys. So we're going to open it up to chat and questions. Have we got questions in the chat, Rebecca, that I haven't managed to see?
I don't think we have too many questions in the chat now. If you do have any, feel free to just pop them into the chat. But I think we had some questions at one point about just maybe talking a little bit more about the campus experience. You kind of mentioned a few of the societies and ways to stay, but we do have some students. Maybe we could have them talk a little bit about
That's cool. Yeah, we'll put the students on the spot. Yeah, why not? We love that. So Ella and Sarush, we'll start with you, Ella. Are you happy to tell us tell our listeners which program you're on and what's your experience today, whether you live on campus, clubs, societies, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Ella. I'm currently studying MSc Marketing with a placement year, and I actually lived on campus this year, although I'm at home for the Easter holidays at the minute. So I lived in Wolf College, which is the postgraduate only accommodation. So I was living with other postgraduate students of a similar age to me and a little bit older as well. And I think I really enjoyed campus life. As you said, it is a gorgeous campus, especially now in spring when all the wildlife's coming out. And I think one of the main highlights for me has been, as part of the accommodation and the rent, is the gym membership that is included. So that's been free, and that includes all the classes and the gym. And it's a really lovely gym, and the classes are amazing as well. I often see a lot of people, just members of the public, that have their own gym memberships. So it is a gym that people use anyway, so it is that good. And I also really like the Crab and Winkle pathway. You can walk to Whitstable. I did that a few weeks ago, and that was lovely. That's from campus as well, and I got the bus back, and the buses run regularly from Whitstable, so it's really easy to get to the seaside as well. So I'd say that's my main highlights from living on campus.
That's cool. Yeah. Sarush, is it something similar for you? What have you been doing in terms of campus experience so far?
Well, I'm living in Wolf College as Ella's, and the atmosphere of the whole campus is really nice. It's really green, and the gym membership is also a really valuable point. And also, because I'm a really big fan of the music, having a Gulbenkian theater next to us is a really, really, really nice place. And you have access to different practice rooms. You have access to a really large cinema. You have a really good cafes, and also the foods in the university campuses are really good. You have access to different bars like Woody's. That one is also a really nice place with a really decent food. And the events that usually happens in university through the different societies are really good. Uh, Events like movie nights, like karaoke nights, or other stuff. My experience was so far so good, and I like it here.
Okay, that's great. So we've talked about campus life, how wonderful it is, music, the free gym. I should have mentioned the free gym. That everyone talks about that, and I forget. That's cool. Just tell us a little bit about your course highlights. How's it going so far, Ella? You doing the marketing course, correct?
Yes, I'm studying marketing, and I've really loved it. I came from a sports and exercise science background, so quite different to marketing, and it's been a fantastic overview of the subjects. I've had some behavioral science sort of courses with consumer behavior and customer insights, but I'm also currently studying brand management, so that more creative side, and I've also done strategic marketing, which was a combined module with the international business course, so there is a bit of overlap there, and you do have those larger modules, so you do get a bit of that international business. And I did my optional module in sustainability, so as you were talking about the 17 sustainable development goals, I studied that quite a bit more in depth as well, and that's been really interesting. So yeah, I've really enjoyed my course. All of my lecturers have been amazing. It's felt like a really personalized experience. I've felt like I've developed a really nice rapport with everyone, and yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better experience, really.
And your assessment's going okay?
Yeah, I've actually not got any exams. Mine was all coursework based, and I'd say that was another thing I've really enjoyed. There was a lot of group work and a lot of presenting as well, so I think that this year I've really developed my public speaking skills, which I know is going to do me in good stead for future work opportunities as well, which is really great. I've really appreciated that.
Oh, that's good news. Yeah. I know some students like having coursework and others don't, and it depends. Suresh, how's your course been going? Tell everybody what you're doing and how it's going.
So basically, my course is more project based. because we are doing a lot of technical stuff like prescriptive analytics, business statistics with Python, big data analytics, machine learning. So for me as a person who is not really good on taking exams, being project based was a really good advantage, because in that way you have a lot of time to examine your potentials, and whenever you have a project, you're not limited to the stuff that you're learning in the class. Usually, professors are asking you to do a lot of research on the papers, on the different articles and different journals to see what is the newest technology that you can use in your project. And the funny thing that I actually realized recently was the fact that you can use all of those projects on your resume after your graduation as a really good example of whether you're actually able to do, and what are your skills and how good are you at different things. And another thing that I really enjoyed in this university and I learned from this course was the fact that right now whenever I see a problem, I'm able to do a research on that problem and find a way to solve that problem. And I think that's a really key point as a business analyst, because usually we go to the different industries and try to see what's the problem and what are the ways that you can just deal with that problem.
That's great. Yeah. And you're on the business analytics. That's right, isn't it, Surush? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the chat we've got someone that says, "Hi, I'm Kanal. I'm planning to study business analytics with placement year. Can you explain to me more about the course? Could you give Kanal a little flavour of some of the modules you've done? Kanal, if you're listening to this, the full details will be online, but Surush can tell you a couple of the modules, give you an idea of the sort of stuff that you've done."
It depends on your taste. If you're a more technical person and if you're enjoying to do some statistical stuff, and if you really like to use the benefit of the new technologies like AI, like machine learning and this kind of stuff, this module is totally for you. In this module, you're going to be able to solve the problems based on doing a lot of quantitative procedures on the data that you are gathering from different places. And also another module that you're going to learn in this course is simulation module, which makes you able to do a simulation on different problems and scenarios which is happening in different industries like hospitals, like train stations, like transportation problems and this kind of stuff. Also, after graduation, you can also consider yourself as a business data analyst, which is makes you related to the data science market. And these days, I think all of us are aware that the data science market is getting really big and uh, popular and trendy in all of the countries. So if you specifically tell me what you want to know about the course, I can help you better.
No, that's fine. I think we've given a flavour. That's fine. And the time available, Surush, that was fine. Surush, I think Ella mentioned she did sports in the past, sports management or sports. Was that right, Ella?
Yes, I study sports and exercise science.
Did you find that helped? Was it a big jump from that to doing marketing, or didn't it matter?
It didn't matter, but it definitely is quite a different course. And I think that is a really good thing about Kent. You know, everyone came from whether they'd done marketing before or something different like me. I feel like it gave me a really good baseline. And then as we progressed through the course, things got a little bit more technical and we sort of built on that foundation that we had created in the first term. So that was something I found really great.
No, that's good. I think marketing lends itself to that. It's more of a sort of a conversion masters in many ways in that respect. Suresh, what did you do? Did you do a quantitative first degree? What did you do?
My background is Bachelor of Business Administration, but it was a really quantitative course, and we have a lot of modules that were related to the financial statistics and operation research, which all of them are really mathematical.
So, right, if you hadn't have done that, do you feel it would have been more tricky to have done the business analytics coming straight in, let's say from a more generalist background?
Yeah, I think if you don't have a really good background on the mathematics and statistics, this module can be a little bit problematic for you.
That's right. I think that's a very good point. All potential postgraduates have got to be judicial about the type of postgraduate course they do. Some are more quantitative, some are more qualitative, are a mixture. If in particular things like business analytics, well, the clue is in the name, isn't it, that it's going to be quite analytical. And also a lot of our financial and finance related postgraduate degrees, it's important that students have had some quantitative background. It does not mean you have to have a maths degree, but the ideal is that you'd have studied at least some quantitative modules on your undergraduate. That could be in the areas of business, economics, or the natural sciences. Frankly, people could have done a biology or chemistry degree and picked up those sort of modules. Even psychology does a lot of data handling and data interpretation as well. I'm looking at the chat here, Rebecca, sorry. I don't think we've had any more questions coming up as such.
No, I think maybe we could touch on, I know we talked about some of the scholarships and stuff that are coming in. Maybe we could talk a little bit about finding like the cost of living and if you have any tips for future students.
Yeah, sure.
Ella,
did you do your undergraduate in the UK and then came to here?
Yes, so I studied at Durham University before coming to Kent, so basically the opposite end of the country, but still in the UK. I'd say cost of living, it is more expensive down south than when I was quite far up north, but I think there's definitely ways of budgeting, and there's also, I think, help on the Kent website as well to do with like budgeting and financial advice. But I'd say the co-op on campus is really good for groceries. So I would usually go into town every week or every other week to do a big food shop. But you can also get your food delivered on campus. If you maybe want to partner it with a flatmate, you can have a delivery. And then I usually just topped up my weekly shop using like the co-op on campus. So that was really handy.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have all these facilities quite close by. I mean, the campus, if people don't know, is on a hill just outside Canterbury, but it's not too far. If depends how lazy you are, really. You can walk into town, walk down the hill, get the bus back or whatever. But yes, a lot of delivery companies, all these food delivery places deliver onto campus. Sarush, did you study in the UK before, or did you come from overseas?
Yes, actually, I'm coming from Iran. I study in Shiraz University.
Okay, cool. So how did that compare to coming to Kent? Big difference? Similar?
Uh, Actually, it was really different for me because English is my second language, and you're going to just face a lot of people from different nationalities with different backgrounds. That is actually really interesting. And you're going to learn a lot about different countries and different cultures and how do people actually do everything. And you're going to definitely learn a lot of new foods because people are cooking from different nationalities. And yeah, it was quite different for me. And I used to live with my family, but now in past 7 months, I'm apart from them. So I'm learning how to just handle everything by my own and by myself. And these are the good points, actually.
That's good. So a good experience for you and quite a friendly campus. You find Canterbury and the university quite friendly on the whole?
Yeah, definitely. It's really friendly, and it is, and you have access to everything that you need. And for example, if you need a really quick market, you have access to the co-op. If you need a job in the university, you can ask university for a job. Actually, they have a really nice job shop, and they have a really good offers. And the working hours are almost so flexible for different people, for different times. And for example, for shopping, we usually talk to each other with my flatmates, and we order from Asda, and we have a delivery here, and we do it together. And it's really fun. It's going to be a really fun experience.
I'm glad it's been a good experience for both of you. Yeah, absolutely. Rebecca, I think, is that time up, I think?
I think so. Thank you so much for all that, I feel like, very helpful advice and kind of talking to your experiences. It was, I feel like, great to hear from both of you about having kind of different pathways here. Yeah, super helpful. And thanks so much, Steve, for giving us so much important information. If you do have any questions for us, I know we have to wrap up now. If you have any questions that come up later, you can always reach out to us at the KBS Marketing and Recruitment email. You can also reach out to KBS admissions at kent.ac.uk. And then to those of you who may be applying for this autumn, we will have some more applicant-based events kind of coming up into the summer. So if you are applying or you've started an application, keep an eye out for that. But thank you so much for everyone who attended, and thank you to our presenters.
Okay, thanks
Have a
everybody.
great
See you
day.
later. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.